We are rolling.
Good morning. Welcome back to the conversation. This is Pointing Out the Obvious. This is our news and politics webcast, our daily take on what's buzzing today. I'm your host, Patrick Russell, and over there is my very opinionated producer, Veronica. Together, we're here to quip and quiver through today's headlines, searching for the real, no matter how deep in the swamp we need to go. Good day to you, Veronica. Wow, big story out of California. Yep. Elon Musk has been following through on his long-running threat of moving out of the state of California. Elon Musk is tired of the density. He's tired of the regulations. He's tired of the high state taxes, the high insurance. But you want to know what he's most tired of, Veronica? HOAs. He's tired of the litigious nature of every neighbor that he's ever had to deal with, not just in the Palo Alto headquarters, mind you. They've got a big facility down in Torrance area that he's been trying to expand and update and modernize. And at every step and at every juncture, you've got either the EPA, you've got the city safety regulators coming through, and you've got the neighborhood HOAs. At any point where he tries to expand or make things taller, he's got usually about 2 or 3 summons and services that are coming down the pipeline for his troubles to try to, let's say, modernize or update a particular corridor or sector of either Palo Alto or in Torrance. So now he's found a new home, Veronica,
Texas.
and we actually understand this quite a bit, and we'll talk about that in just a second. He's moving to Austin. Right, and Austin is very similar to where we are, outside of Phoenix, wide open land, real flat. On a clear day, you could see a long way away, and no regulations. Nothing to the tune of what you have to deal with in California. Why? Mainly because of the density, because you all have so many different players at the table to deal with. Not true in the wide open suburbs of Austin. Plenty of open spaces. Plus, you've got a growing economy of Republican legislation in the state that's business friendly. And we see that, don't we? Also in Phoenix, Governor Ducey has taken a page out of the Texas playbook when it comes to how do you attract businesses, right? And we see that in the outside of Phoenix with a lot of tech companies, Intel, semiconductor companies from Taiwan that are going to be coming in. And with the new factories, with the new homes that are being built for the families, we see the urban development, right? The new high schools, the new grocery stores, the shopping centers, all of that come with it. And I think that Austin, Texas and Arizona have really taken advantage of what California has been forced to do in order to contend with the overpopulation that they deal with on a daily basis. Am I right? From a younger person's perspective, how important is it for you nowadays to live by the beach, or does it matter where you live because life has just gotten to the point where it's virtual, it's remote? What are your thoughts about having to move to Texas if you had to get a good tech job?
I think Texas will be the last place that I will personally move.
We got some weather considerations we'll talk about if I don't know.
I do agree with Eli because obviously he's a businessman, so he's looking always for the best. But personally, Texas it's a really bad state. Not only
from a political standpoint, I feel that this is where it's coming from.
But also in California, everything is getting so crazy. I mean, rent and you don't find anything for under like $1,500, and that's talking about like a single, like a 1-bedroom apartment.
And so not the best part of town either.
So it is getting pretty crazy, and I think that's why a lot of people are moving, especially in Arizona. All the people from Arizona are kind of complaining because they're like, oh, okay, people from California are moving here, but and then they don't give us any options, right? I mean, people who doesn't have the ability to stay in California, they have to move.
They have to move to someplace where they can afford.
Definitely.
So price is definitely a consideration. Obviously, you do have state taxes in Texas for the personal taxes, but be mindful. Texas does tax businesses based on gross receipts, revenues, aka gross sales, as well as they have a measure and barometer based on assets. So as he brings things into the state, Tesla is paying state taxes, just not from a personal tax standpoint, right? Now, the other thing that we're dealing with also is the people, right? The density. There's a lack of density in places like on the outskirts of Phoenix and in the outskirts of Austin that makes growth, that makes urban development such an easier endeavor. And I think that more than anything is the reason why Elon Musk left California. And in fact, what I would say is that because of the economics and because of the factors we're talking about now, I think it was all a bluff on Elon Musk's part. I think he always knew that he was going to leave California, and all of this brinksmanship that he was playing with California legislation and the governor directly about maybe loosening up some shoestrings or some legislative strings, zoning strings in order to grow. I think that was all just a ruse in order to plant the seeds in everybody's mind that he's going to be taking a very important, very big company out of California. Not completely. There'll be satellite offices and potentially that Torrance facility will still be available.
Final point that Texas minimum wage is $7.25. So that means that if they are going to hire employees in Texas, instead of paying $15 an hour, and obviously next year even more, now they're stuck with $7.25. So
Absolutely.
I mean, he's gonna be seeing a big decrease in his expenses.
Oh, his labor costs go down as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, I mean, that's another plus that I think obviously he's looking at it.
Yeah, final note. As far as the weather is concerned, let's face it, California is attractive because of year-long moderate weather. We're entering the part of the year in Arizona where it's absolutely gorgeous. We're going to be seeing 80-degree weathers most of the week. And so now we're going to be feeling like we haven't really missed out on too much by moving out into the desert. Yeah. Not so in Texas. I don't think that there's any real good season in Texas where you're walking out saying, wow, what a beautiful day. I think you've got seasonal weather, you've got the hard rain, you got the cold snow, you got the sticky, nasty summer, and I think maybe the fall. I think you've got about 3 weeks. Well, no, then you got the stormy seasons. Don't. Oh, wow, geez,
yeah, that's good.
All right, so let's face it, guys. Moving out to Texas does have its cons, but I think we see clearly that from a business perspective and just from a regulation and a legislative perspective, him being able to grow spaceports, did anybody say? Well, let's airports that are going to need to be built. The guy needs to think not only year, 2, 3 years, he's thinking decades from now of how SpaceX is going to evolve to the transport to the stars. All right, guys. There's no wrong answer, there's no right answer, but there definitely is your opinion. Please don't just subscribe to the show, even though we will be doing this back and forth on a daily basis. But lend your voice to the show. It'll make it a whole lot more fun. Guys, it doesn't matter if you lean to the right. It doesn't matter if you lean to the left. As long as you're taking care of the person in front of you kindly, you just made the world a better place. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you soon.